morning, wet shavers, coffee lovers, and podcast listeners everywhere. It's Mark with GeorgeToon.com. It's time for another second cup. So grab a cup of coffee, kick back, relax, put in those earbuds, adjust that speaker volume, and let's talk some wet shaving and a few other things in podcast form. What is Second Cup? Second Cup is a podcast that will give you some additional information that didn't make the Monday morning mailbag deadline. This might be something that is time sensitive. For instance, a sale that could be ending before the next Monday morning mailbag airs, or a piece of late-breaking information that viewers have passed along that is equally time sensitive, or something else regarding the wet shaving world that needs to be broadcast in a timely fashion. And we'll also have some time to chit-chat and discuss some other things like coffee, movies, streaming shows, books, that sort of thing. So thanks for tuning in to Second Cup. And I hope you subscribe to the podcast, where you can also find episodes of the Monday Morning Mailbag in podcast form. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. We'll get the show underway in just a moment. Thanks for joining me. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the January 5th, 2026 episode of Second Cup. Happy New Year, everyone. This is the first episode of Second Cup for 2026. How about that? You know what? I can't even remember when we started Second Cup. Was it 3 years ago? Are we in our fourth season now? I can't remember. You know what? I'm going to have to look at my records. I cannot remember. But Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me this morning. I am enjoying Shave Masters coffee from Sovereign Bean Coffee Company. We got this from Barry Bedford, a Texan Shaves, and all the other fellow Shave Masters. They do that live broadcast every other Tuesday on Instagram, so check them out. And I'm enjoying the coffee in my official Monday morning mailbag coffee mug. Hang on, let me get a sip here. Oh, that's nice. That's a good cup of coffee. That really is. Yeah, Shave Masters, Sovereign Bean Coffee Company. Check it out. They got a lot of other great coffees up there, and they are terrific. So again, a big thank you to Barry Bedford and all the Shave Masters for passing along their Shave Masters coffee. How about that? Really, really terrific. Well, how are you this morning? Yeah, it is New Year, but we're also still in the Christmas season. So I hope you haven't thrown your tree out on the tree lawn or anything like that, because tomorrow is the Epiphany. And again, that is part of the Christmas season. And if you're familiar with the Epiphany, there's a tradition of chalking the door. This, as I understood it, as I understand it, is a really deep and richly ingrained in the Polish tradition. And I was really curious about it because I had always known it to be something that came out of the Polish community. And the reason why we mention that is because this morning we talked about, I got it right over here, the Leader Shave Kit that came from viewer Lee Meyer. Lee, thank you again very, very much. And Leader is a huge Polish brand of a shaving product over there in Poland, kind of like Parasso in Italy and Tabak in Germany. Well, Poland has Leader, L-I-D-E-R, and I think I pronounced that correctly, Leader. I don't know if it's Leader or Lighter. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm looking at it as Leader, the American pronunciation of it. And we are definitely going to get a review on this. We talked about it this morning on the Monday Morning Mailbag, and I just happened to remember that tomorrow is the Epiphany, January 6th, and this is the chalking of the door. It really was a deep tradition within the Polish community that kind of spread to other communities. So I did a little research on AI. And if you're unfamiliar with chalking of the door, here's a little bit of background. The practice originated in medieval Europe, not in one specific country. It spread across Latin Christendom, becoming common in places like Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and later Poland. The custom is tied to Epiphany and the blessing of homes, using chalk to write the year and the initials C plus M plus B. Those are the three wise men, Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar, or Christus, I don't know Latin here. Christus Massionem Benedicat. Well, it's Latin, okay? The last word is spelled Benedicat. Benedicat. May Christ bless this house. Okay, why it feels Polish. You're not imagining the Polish connection. Poland has a very strong Three Kings tradition, widespread parish distribution of blessed chalk, families marking doors with K plus M plus B. That's the Polish spelling of Casper, Melchior, and Balthazar. So while Poland didn't originate the custom, it helped preserve and popularize it. How about that? And here's what the tradition signifies. It's a house blessing marking the start of the new year. The chalking is done on Epiphany Day, January 6th or 12th night. It symbolizes inviting Christ's presence into the home for the coming year. How about that? So the Polish community really held on to this tradition and spread it worldwide from its origins, which is why I always knew it to be something connected traditionally with the Polish community. And it's something that I do every year. And I just want to mention that because of our review of the Leader brand this morning on the Monday Morning Mailbag. How about that? And my apologies for not knowing my Latin here, my Latin pronunciation, and some of the names of the three kings. It's not rolling off my tongue. I need a second cup of coffee here. Well, we are in second cup, so I guess this is my second cup. So I got to get myself going here this morning with my second cup of coffee. But great to be with you this morning. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. It's still okay to say Merry Christmas because, again, we're still in the Christmas season. Tomorrow's the Epiphany. I don't know if you chalk your door or not, if you've ever heard of that. Please send me an email at mondaymailbag@gmail.com and let me know if this is a tradition that you keep in your home and family, and or if it's something that's new to you. But I do have my blessed chalk ready, and I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I do it every year. And again, a big thank you to the Polish community for preserving this great tradition during the Christmas season. And again, once more, a big thank you to Lee Meyer for sending along Leader, the Leader Shave Kit. We are definitely going to get a review done on that. I need to shave. I think I'm going to do the shave-in review a little later on here today because I do need a shave. And this is just a fantastic scent. So we'll have a link again to makeupstore.com where you can get it. Well, check the Monday Morning Mailbag. That's where the link is, because the links from the links and the embedding of links on Spotify as it gets syndicated over to YouTube don't always come through for some reason, which is why we're not doing links anymore. Go to the YouTube broadcast of the Monday Morning Mailbag this morning, and you'll see the link to where you can get this Leader kit. A really terrific deal. And thanks again to Lee Meyer. Well, that's what we got going on this morning. Great to be with you. I hope you're enjoying a cup of coffee with me. Let's pay a few bills and we'll get the show underway in just a moment. Viewer Tim Whitcup gave us another heads-up reminder on the Razor vintage thick bar handle in 316L stainless steel, available at Italian Barber. It's only $14.99, and the shipping on this is pretty good too, depending on where you live. But $14.99 for a 316L stainless steel handle is pretty darn good. And of course, this is a vintage thick bar handle. It has again, a nice vintage look to it. Well, here's what they say here. Razor vintage thick bar handle is polished 316L stainless steel. These handles are machined out of high-grade solid stainless steel rod stock. The benefit with 316L stainless steel is its corrosion resistance. 316L is a marine grade of stainless steel that is more corrosion resistant than both 303 and 304, making for a handle that is great in wet and humid environments. Many customers requested a handle that paid tribute to the old Gillette common bar handle of the past, and we did our best to come up with a modern version of this handle and made it available in thinner and thicker options. The second photo that they have on their website, the second photo shows the two handles side by side so you can gauge the size of this handle, which is the thick version. This handle is great for travel since it is shorter and more compact at 76 millimeters long. So again, it pays homage to a vintage Gillette razor handle. It's 316L stainless steel. And at $14.99, it's pretty darn good price. Now, I went ahead and ordered one. Shipping to Ohio was only $9.99. So for about $25, I've got this stainless steel handle coming to the home here. And as soon as it arrives, I'm going to show it on the Monday morning mailbag, along with some other razors that I have here from Razor Rock. And I'll show those as well, but you get kind of a preview here, at least on the audio podcast. When I started my wet shaving journey, I was told of Italian Barber and the Razor Rock brand that they were selling up there, and I went ahead and I bought the Mission Razor. Now, the Mission Razor that I'm holding in my hand here is the chrome version of the Mission Razor. This is the a brass. It's a brass chrome-plated handle. That's what I have here. It has a zinc alloy Mission razor head, but the handle is brass and chrome-plated. That's what I was told when I originally purchased it. And I made sure to label this and set it aside so I knew what was what, because there's no labeling or etching on these handles or razor heads to let you know what they are. But I put this one aside here, and I wanted to show everyone this, well, at least talk about it here, and then I'll show it on the Monday morning mailbag, that it's a brass handle with chrome plating. That was the original Mission razor that I purchased. Then I purchased another Mission razor because they had swapped out their chrome-plated brass handles for these stainless steel handles. And I bought the Mission razor with the stainless steel handle. Now, a little while after that, a viewer named Greg from Virginia very, very kindly and generously sent to the channel the Razor Rock Game Changer razor head. This was the milder version, the .68 blade gap version. And he said, you know what, it's great razor head, but it's a little too mild for me. I'd like to send it to the channel. Please review it and share it with the viewers and that sort of thing. And I thought, great, but I need a handle for it, a stainless steel handle. Aha! I have the Mission razor with the stainless steel handle. So I went ahead and I swapped out the Mission razor head for the Razor Rock Game Changer razor head. So now I have a fully stainless steel Razor Rock Game Changer razor with the .68 millimeter blade gap razor head and this beautiful stainless steel handle that came from the Mission razor when I bought the stainless steel handled version of the Mission razor. So I put the Mission razor razor head aside and I labeled it. And I put it in a little plastic bag and I set that aside, as well as another Mission razor that I purchased. Now, this is the whole point of this exercise here. I happened to purchase a short-handled version of the Mission razor. It had a short stainless steel handle. And I thought, well, you know what? I like the Mission razor. It's smooth. It's very, very efficient. And I'm going to use it again because it really is a terrific razor. And just this whole talk about the Razor Rock vintage thick bar handle reminded me of the Mission razors. And of course, Tim Whitcup also sent along the review this morning on the Mentor razor from Razor Rock and how it compares to the Mission razor. And that's how this all came about. But anyhow, I've got the Mission razor with the shorter stainless steel handle. And I'm just curious to see if this vintage thick bar handle is similar to this shorter stainless steel handle that I have here on the Mission Razor, because as I understand it, shortly after I purchased this razor, they didn't offer it anymore with the shorter stainless steel handle. So I'm really curious to know if they if the handle, the thick bar handle, is somewhat similar to the shorter stainless steel handle I have with the shorter Mission Razor. So that's kind of a breakdown of everything that I have here regarding RazorRock Mission Razors. Again, these were acquired very early on in my wet shaving journey, and I'm so glad that I labeled everything and packed them up and put them aside so I know what's what. Because I got to be honest with you, this brass chrome-plated handle Mission Razor right here, I think this is really something to have in your razor collection. If you've got one of these, I think you've got probably maybe a modern vintage razor already, because they don't make these anymore, from what I understand. I don't think you can find the brass chrome-plated handle Mission Razor. I don't think you can find that anymore. So it kind of neat, and of course the weight is a little different and that sort of thing. So it kind of changes up the shave a little bit. But yeah, I happen to have everything right here. It was all bagged up and everything and labeled correctly. This one says RazorRock Mission Razors. Heavy duty, short handled Mission Razor, stainless steel handle. That's what the short handle razor is. Mission Razor, brass chrome plated handle. How about that? And then off in a little bag here, in with all that stuff, is the RazorRock Mission Razor head. So I have that as well, because that's the razor head that came off of the handle that I'm now using with the Game Changer, the RazorRock Game Changer. So yeah, Italian Barber and RazorRock have a lot of great razor offerings for new wet shavers that come in at wonderful price points. So get up to Italian Barber and look for RazorRock Vintage Thick Bar Handle 316L stainless steel. As Tim has explained to me, I think once these are gone, they're gone. So you might want to get one and have it with one of your favorite razor heads in your shave den. And as soon as it comes in, we will share it with all the viewers. So a big thank you again to Tim Whitcup for reminding us of the RazorRock Vintage Thick Bar Handle in 316L stainless steel. It's available at Italian Barber, $14.99. To ship to Ohio was only $9.99. I thought that was pretty good. That's why I went ahead and ordered it. And as soon as it arrives, we'll share it with everyone on the 3MB. A big thank you to Tim Whitcup. Tim, thanks again very much. Here's something else that I received from viewer Tim Whitcup. Maybe you received a brand new razor for the Christmas season, or as a Hanukkah gift, or maybe you had a recent birthday and a family member gave you a really beautiful razor. Well, here is something that Tim sent along that he found somewhere on the internet. And the author is unknown, but I think it's really very insightful when it comes to vintage razors, because we talk about vintage razors all the time on the Monday Morning Mailbag, and with Shave Den visits from viewers like Jim from Northfield, who finds these wonderful vintage razors, and other viewers out there have shared their vintage razors with us. But this is a really insightful little bit of commentary here from an unknown author that Tim sent along. For me, vintage razors are not objects, but they are pieces of history and also personal. Every time I buy one and find it in my hands, I always think about who owned it. Maybe this razor I have in my hands was a birthday or Christmas present made to a dad, grandfather, friend, or son. Who knows what emotion the person who received it felt? Who knows what sensations they felt? Maybe it was bought simply out of need or because of the marketing of the time. All of this will remain a mystery to me. Even for this, I treat these types of razors with utmost respect and care. Wow, that is really very powerful. And it sums up this historical connection we always talk about with vintage razors, whether they come from family members or whether you find them in an antique store or online at eBay or Etsy, something like that. There is this historical connection to wet shaving and to a certain individual who had this razor in their shave den. They were shaving with it. And again, who is that person? What were they thinking? What did they do for a living? How often did they use this razor? Those kinds of questions always arise. And whoever wrote this, when they sum up, they just absolutely nail it. All of this will remain a mystery to me. Even for this, I treat these types of razors with utmost respect and care. Absolutely. And I think the hope is, and this is just me, my opinion, I think that the hope is that after I leave this this life and go on to the next, that all the razors that I've left behind will also be treated with the utmost respect and care by their new owners, whether it be a family member, a nephew or a niece, or someone else who might come across that razor. That's my hope. What goes around comes around. So yeah, whenever you have a vintage razor that comes into your shave den, a good practice to treat it with the utmost respect and care for the individual, to acknowledge the individual who had it prior to you. Because as that razor or your newer razors get handed down, you hope that that individual who has them now will treat them with the utmost respect and care. Tim, thanks very much for sending this along. If you have a comment about this, folks, please email me at mondaymailbag@gmail.com. It'll make for a great discussion. Tim, thanks again very, very much. Well, this morning we have a shaving mystery. Yeah, a shaving mystery. And again, Tim Whitcup. Thank you very much, Tim. Tim Whitcup sent this along. He sent along an image and a link from Perasso, their Facebook page. And the image shows their shaving foam that comes in a can. And they have a couple of other videos that I found on their Facebook page where they're demonstrating the shaving cream out of a can, making the claim that it's just like the shave cream lather that you would get from one of their soaps or tube creams. At least that's kind of the gist of it. And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wow, this is great. And I'm asking Tim, where do you buy this? And he said, I don't know. It's just, this is all they have on their Facebook page. And sure enough, he sent me the link to the Facebook page. And there it is, the Perasso foam shaving cream in a can, a photograph of it. And they have about 5 different flavors of it, I guess you could say, or 5 different scents. They've got the classic green. They've got the sandalwood in red. They've got the blue. They've got something in here in gold. And I guess the white can is their sensitive skin formula. And absolutely no link to where you can buy this. You would think that Perasso would say, hey, here's our canned shave cream foam, and here's the link right here, folks, where you can go buy it. Or here is some other online retailers where you can get this, and there's nothing. Now, granted, I understand that I believe that this is Perasso out of Italy. This is not Perasso USA. I'm assuming here that the Facebook page is the actual Perasso company out of Italy. So, maybe something like this gets lost in translation, or maybe if they link something, it's going to be only for the European market. You would think, though, that they would be able to link European market, U.S. market, Canadian market, something so that you could follow the link and see where something like this could be purchased. So I'm reaching out to all the listeners and viewers out there. Have you ever used Perasso shave cream in a can? And again, I understand this is kind of This is kind of the antithesis, if that's the correct word, for what we do with the traditional wet shave. We like to use a shaving soap or a shaving cream that comes out of a jar or a tube, and we like to use a brush and build a lather and that sort of thing. It's part of the whole ritual, part of the whole calming effect of doing the traditional wet shave. But Proraso has a product here so that if you have to dash out the door, on a Monday morning, after a long holiday weekend, and you got to get to work and get back into the swing of things, you might be able to grab this and just, onto your hand and, onto your face and grab your razor and have your shave and throw on some Proraso after shave and get out the door. I understand that. There's always those kinds of instances, and it's nice to have another tool in your tool bag for when you can't do the traditional wet shave for whatever reason, because of time constraints. So I'm just wondering, where can you find this product? Proraso shave cream in a can. Proraso foaming shave cream in a can. If you know where this can be purchased online, please send me an email at mondaymailbag@gmail.com, and we'll share that with all of the viewers on an upcoming Monday morning mailbag. Shaving mystery. Proraso sells their shaving cream lather in a can. I just don't know where you can buy it. A big thank you to Tim Whitcup for the heads up on this one. Folks, if you know where you can get the Proraso shave cream in a can, please send me an email at mondaymailbag@gmail.com. Tim, thanks again very, very much. Now, before I get out of here, I'm going to recommend a Netflix series and also a book to you, because I've talked about this book before, and it reads just like a movie. And I've always wondered, when is someone going to make this into a movie? Well, the folks at Netflix made it into a 4-episode television series. And the name of the series is Death by Lightning, and it's based on this book I've talked about before, Destiny of the Republic by Candace Millard. A tale of madness, medicine, and the murder of a president. Boy, is this a terrific, terrific book. This is about the presidency and assassination of James A. Garfield. Now, there's a connection to Garfield here in Northeast Ohio because he's from Mentor, Ohio, which is just 20 minutes up the road. And he's also buried at Erie View Cemetery in Cleveland, Ohio. So there's a lot of President Garfield history here in Northeast Ohio. But Death by Lightning is a 4-episode television series on Netflix based on this book, Destiny of the Republic. Now, the reason why I know this is because I don't have Netflix. And my brother Tom and his wife Lori, my sister-in-law Lori, were telling me about this series. They say it was fabulous. They said, Mark, you've got to watch this show. And they were telling me about it, and I said, that sounds like Destiny of the Republic. And they said, what? I said, yeah, I read the book a couple of times, Destiny of the Republic. The book is fantastic. And again, I said, it reads just like a movie. And finally, someone has taken the book and converted it into a mini-series, a movie of sorts on Netflix. And I'm so happy they did that. Now, I did receive some Netflix gift cards from my nephew Mike, my nephew Jim, Mike's wife Brittany, and their little girl Sophie. Thank you so much to Mike, Brittany, Sophie, and Jim for that gift. So I will be logging into Netflix and watching Death by Lightning and some other things that they gave me, some other streaming coupons gift cards that they sent me. But this is definitely one I'm going to be watching, Death by Lightning, because the book is wonderful. Now, I recommend that you read the book before you watch the series so you can kind of compare it. The book reads just like a movie. It is so very, very good. We've talked about it before on Second Cup as a book recommendation. And now I can recommend Death by Lightning, the Netflix series, because my brother Tom and his wife Lori spoke so highly of it, and they were saying, Mark, this is right up your alley. You're going to love this. And of course I'm going to love it because I really love the book, Destiny of the Republic by Candace Millard. So there you go. Something for your winter entertainment. A great book, Destiny of the Republic by Candace Millard. And also the Netflix series, Death by Lightning, based on Candace Millard's Destiny of the Republic from 2011. Really, really looking forward to watching Death by Lightning and comparing it to the book. I know that both are great, even without watching Death by Lightning, because Tom and Lori spoke so highly of it. I know it's going to be a great, great miniseries because the book was so great. The source material was so great. So give it a read, give it a look. Destiny of the Republic by Candace Millard and the Netflix series Death by Lightning. And that wraps up another Second Cup. Thanks so much for tuning in again. I really do appreciate it. I sure hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, please share, please subscribe, and pass it along to a fellow wet shaver or friend. My thanks to everyone who commented and contributed to today's show. And I mean this sincerely. Without you, this microphone would be silent. If Second Cup or the Monday Morning Mailbag aren't showing up in your regular podcast feed, please drop me a line at mondaymailbag@gmail.com and we'll try to get it all sorted out. So again, thank you all very much. I look forward to getting together with you again on these podcast airwaves. Until then, enjoy the day, enjoy your shave, and enjoy that Second Cup.